Why do we use a single dot when creating a Django project and what breaks if you leave it out? Is there a way to instantly see your Django files appear locally while using Docker? Yes, and I'll show you how. What does Docker Compose actually do behind the scenes when you create a Django project? After creating our Django project, we can finally go ahead and run our development server and see something in the browser. So let's go ahead, but before, please like this video. We are going to create our Django project using Docker Compose. So to do this, run the following command in the terminal. So I'm going to type docker-compose space run rm app sh -c and the command. So the command would be django-admin space start project app and dot. So before I run the command, I'm just going to open up the file explorer and make sure the app directory is expanded so you can see the files that get generated. So what this does is run Docker Compose, run on our app service. And the command we are passing in is the Django CLI command for creating a new project. Since Django is installed inside our Docker image, we can run CLI commands just as if they were available on our local machine. What's going to happen here is it will create a new project called app, and we use the dot to tell Django to create it in the current directory. This dot is really important. If you leave it out, Django will create a new subdirectory inside the app directory which will contain your project. That setup will throw off our file structure and break a lot of the commands we'll be using throughout the course. So just make sure the Django command you enter matches exactly what's shown in the video. So first, I'm going to execute the command without dots. So in this way, you can see the differences. And yes, you can see here it has created a subdirectory inside our project, and we don't want that. So what I do, I'm going to delete it. So I go inside the app, and here I delete it. And then I return back to the project and I re-execute the command, but this time with dot. So this command will launch a container from the image and run the django-admin start project app.command command. So you can see when it's finished running, it automatically adds the Django project files to the root of the project. So it adds a app directory here which has the projects or the settings and things like that. So the reason it was able to sync is because of the volume we defined in Docker Compose here. Since we have mapped the app directory, anything created inside the container is reflected in our local project, and anything created locally is reflected inside the container. So it's a two-way relationship. You can create files in the container and access them in your project directory and vice versa. Free time. So here's a joke for you. Why did the developer open a bakery? Because Django already had all the layers, models, views, and templates. So now that we have actually created our Django project, we can finally go ahead and run our development server and see something in the browser. So open a terminal and type docker hyphen compose space up. What we have here is the docker compose up command, and it's going to run our services. You can see that is started by running the app, and we only have one service, which is why we just running the app service, and it says that it started the development server. So if you open your browser and go to the 127.0.0.1 colon and 8000 and hit enter, you should see the Django launch page. So this is the template that is added for all default Django projects. This basically means that our project is working correctly and that we have configured everything with Docker. So if you head over to the terminal, you will see the log output here every time we refresh the page. New log entries appear, indicating that a request was made to load the page, specifically a GET request. This confirms that the project is running and working as expected. In the next video, we are going to start with an overview of the database architecture that we are going to set up for our project. I'm really curious to know your thoughts, so please leave me a comment.